Hey, what's up everybody? It's TheHyphenate here. Sony just released an awesome update for the Sony a7 III and a7R III cameras. Update 3.0 brings highly anticipated features to these cameras. First, I'm going to go over the details of these updates, and then I'm going to go over a step-by-step process on how to update your cameras. These new updates are focused more on the photography side of things and don't really come for the video side of things. However, for photo, these are amazing. Now we have real-time eye autofocus for both humans and animals. And now we get time-lapse functionality built into the camera with interval shooting. Update 3.0 also has some other small improvements which you can find out about on the Sony website, but today we're going to talk about just these major features. Before, to use eye autofocus on these cameras, you had to have a button assigned and press that button to activate it. But now all you have to do is half press the shutter and it'll follow the eye. Or you can use back button autofocus and it'll track the eye as well. So ideally you want to use this with continuous autofocus. When you have continuous autofocus and you have the Iaf on, wherever the subject goes, if it sees the eye, it's going to follow it and stay locked on. If it loses the eye, it'll go to the face. And if it loses the face, it'll do its best to stay tracking the subject. Now, if you're going to do animal Iaf, you're going to have to select in the settings between human and animal. You cannot do them both simultaneously. This new update is huge and it drastically improves accuracy. It makes pretty much anything easier when shooting people or animals. To access your real-time Iaf settings, you would go to page 6 on the first tab. There you'll see face/eye autofocus setting. From there you can turn on or off the face-eye priority in autofocus. Personally, I leave it on all the time. On subject detection, you can choose if you want either human or animal. Face detection frame display is what's on your display when you're shooting. It shows you the box that's around the face or the eye. I always leave that on. Animal eye display, I would recommend putting that on if you are trying to shoot animals. Quick note, the Iaf right now is focused more on dogs and cats, though Sony has said that they are going to have updates in the near future to help it gain Iaf accuracy on other animals as well. The other update that so many Sony shooters have been waiting for is being able to do time lapses built into the camera. Prior to this, you'd have to get an external intervalometer. The one I've been using retails for about $100, and you have to connect that to the micro USB slot on the camera, and it just is extra equipment to carry around on top of it being extra money. Now it's all built into the camera and makes time-lapse shooting so much funner and easier. Now to access your interval shooting on your camera, you go into the menu and you're gonna go on the first tab and you're gonna go to page 4. There you'll see interval shooting function. There you'll see interval shooting. You can select off or on. Shooting start time will allow you to change the amount of time it takes for it to start taking photos after clicking the shutter button the first time. Selecting the shooting interval allows you to choose how much time you want in between each shot. The number of shots is how many shots you want in total from beginning to end. AE tracking sensitivity is for auto exposure. You can choose high, medium, or low, and that is for if you have auto exposure settings. Though personally, I do manual exposure. I don't like the camera choosing for me. I feel like it adds more flicker. So personally, I recommend against it. If you go to the second page on the interval shooting, then you can see silent shooting in interval. So you can actually have silent shooting if you don't want it to make any sound. Shooting interval priority, I honestly don't even really know what it's for. I have no use for it, so I haven't looked further into it. On a web browser, you can search Sony a7 III 3.0 update or a7R III 3.0 update. One of the first links you'll find is for the Sony website. Click on that, and here you'll see whatever your model is. You'll see a page that has downloads. You can click on that. Now this will show you the latest firmware update, and you can pick between Windows or Mac. Here I'm going to do Windows, but it's very similar for all of them. So you can click on download, scroll down to the license agreement, press download. Now from here you'll have to either create an account for Sony or sign in if you already have one. I have an account, so I'm going to sign in. Once you'll fill out your information, if you already had an account before, it might ask you to link account services as shown here. Select the checkbox at the bottom and then press accept. Then it'll start downloading your update file. Once that finishes, you can click on that to open it. Then from there, it'll take you to a software where it tells you to connect the camera to the computer. You can either connect via micro USB or USB Type-C, whichever port that you want to use. If your camera isn't already set for USB connection to be on mass storage, then you'll have to go and select that once the cable's connected. So on page 4 of your setup tab, you can change the USB connection to mass storage if it's not already selected. Once you have that, when the camera's connected with the mass storage, then it'll recognize on the software, it'll say check this version. And you can see here that I have an older version and it's going to update to the 3.0. Click on next, and then it'll say automatically reset the camera. That takes a process, that takes a little bit of a while. Then from there, it'll start to run the update. Run the update is the longest part of this whole process. So here, I'm actually doing the fast forward on this just to make it go faster. I'm speeding up the time. Once it's all done, you'll have an option to click finish. From there, you can eject the camera drive from the computer, and then you can disconnect the cable from the camera. To verify that your new version is now on your camera, go ahead and go to the Setup tab, page 7, click on version, and you should see version 3.00. So there you guys have it. That's a detailed overview about the new features, how to access them, and how to set up your update on your camera. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to drop a like and a comment on this video if you have any questions, and please make sure to subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming soon. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.